Hey guys, how's it going? Today I want to give you an update tour of our brand new Hartley Botanic greenhouse. This is an absolute dream come true. Like, I can't even explain it to you guys because it's a bucket list item, something I never thought that I would have in our garden. So to see it sitting here it's incredible. It's just incredible. And we're miles away from it being done. Like, this is not a grand reveal. I don't have it staged. It's clearly not landscaped around it, but I would love to talk you through the process up to this point because Hartley Botanic's crew was here this week. They constructed the upper portion and, you know, the cold frame lids and all of that, and so their part is essentially done. Now it's up to us to complete all the things that we want done with the area. So like, I think by the end of next week we'll actually have the dirt piles removed and the brickwork will be completed, so it will look like the whole thing will look kind of tidied up and a little bit more put together, but even after that we've got a lot to do on the inside. So anyway, let me tell you some just basic details about the model that we chose. First of all, you might remember what was sitting here. Remember the gazebo, big brown gazebo, which I think our city is just about ready to install down at the park. So the gazebo left, the city took it, and they are putting it in a small park in our downtown area. It's going to be really fun down there. So this is the Victorian Grand Lodge, Hartley Botanic Greenhouse. It has roughly the same footprint as our gazebo, slightly bigger. So it's almost 27 feet wide. And with the cold frames and the doorways, I think it sits about 14 feet deep or so. The interior is just over 11 and a half feet. So those are just some rough details. We did decide to go with the cold frames up front, which these are, I think, 2 feet 9 inches. 2 feet 9. I'd have to look at the paper to know exactly. I think it's like 2 feet 9 3/4 of an inch deep and roughly 10 feet long. So these are, I mean, you could have them put on the sides. They're completely customizable. And let me tell you, when you're putting in something like this, the sky's the limit. You can do whatever you want. You can do like huge greenhouses. You can go really quaint and cozy. My mom was actually really wanting is it the villa? Mm-hmm. I think the Victoria Villa. We were pricing that one out for them the other day as we've been watching this process. So, you know, there's different colors and, you know, finishes and sizes to fit every area. But I mean, it's hard to decide when it's just something like so, like you never want to move it. You know, you don't want to change it. Once you put it in, you want it to be, you know. Anyway, so we decided to go with cold frames on the front because it faces south, so it's going to naturally draw in, soak in a ton of heat. So each one of these lids right here, there are little brackets that hold it up like this, and there's three different levels that you can hold it up at. So, you know, you can kind of control how much air you want to have come in, and then if you need to maintain it, you can, or like, you know, pour soil in. Hold on, I'm just getting used to all of these, so I haven't opened this a tremendous amount of times. You can open it all the way if you're putting soil in, and I think some people put it in soil in and treat it as a raised bed, and some people will kind of put a flooring because it goes quite deep. You should show in there. It goes quite deep, and it actually goes down to soil level, like natural soil down in there, but you can see the footers. Like, this greenhouse is going nowhere. It's intense. So once the gazebo was removed, the concrete pad that the gazebo was on was removed, and then they dug out the area, they excavated it, and then they poured footers, which I don't know all the details like how far down it goes, but you can see them here. The footers come out further, and then they did all the forms for the stem wall, which is this here, which is something we chose to do. You can do a full brick wall. You can see we chose to do a veneer, and we chose to do it that way because if we wanted to change the veneer, we could do that. Like, one day if we didn't want brick, which I can't ever see myself not wanting brick, this style fits in with our home. It fits in with all the brick walkways that we have around here, but it would be a lot easier to do and a lot less expensive if we wanted to go with more of a stone look or something like that. So we just decided to go that route. I'm actually kind of glad it's at this stage to show you kind of what it looks like and how it's put together. So these are just half-size bricks is what they are. This is the color called Smokestack. I don't know the brand. Maybe we can pop a picture of the box up.
Thin Brick.
Thin Brick is the brand. So Smokestack When we went to the showroom, I couldn't see the brick outside. They didn't have a display wall outside. So I was seeing it with interior lighting. It was a very hard decision because I really wanted to make the right decision, and I wanted it to look just kind of classic. I wanted it to be something too that in our area, because we get so hot and it's so dry here, things tend to take on a very warm, dry, brown, orange appearance, especially this time of year. So I wanted to choose a brick that had a cool undertone, which this one definitely does. There was more pink in this one than there was in some of the other options that were more red or like a burnt orange color. And I'm just so happy. It's very soft, and it's very, it doesn't draw your eye away, or it's not jarring. You know what I mean? If you get a really bright orange brick, that might be a kind of a jarring look to me anyway, to see that with the white top here. We chose white as our finish color because all of our other structures are white. Our home is white, chicken coop's white, barn is white. We thought that that would go really well. And let me tell you too, like the moment, I've always admired these greenhouses. I mean, I've seen them in magazines forever, but I stood inside this exact model in a nursery in Cumbria, in Beetham Nurseries, when we were in the UK in 2015. Sure. Gotta remember all my dates. I stood inside one of these. It was cream colored, which was absolutely gorgeous. And I think Aaron said that he really likes that finish. And I do too, but I think it would have looked maybe like dirty because our other structures are bright white. So that's why we decided to go with this. And it's just like the classic greenhouse. I have a fly that really wants to get at me right now. So anyway, we've got the other lid right here. It's awesome. I just love it. You can also see that little tube coming from the inside of the unit. That is there. We will have a sliding like a metal plate kind of door, so we can close that off, but that will allow if we put heat in this, if we need to in the winter time, we can open that door and it will allow some of the heat to come into the cold frame and help warm things up a little bit. I'm already thinking about what I can put in here this fall. So excited about it. Okay, so let's go inside. Double doors here, so this side opens. We've got our Hartley Botanic little sign right there so that you know it's legit. Love it. And then this side has a lock on it, so you can either, keep it shut or you can open it up here. And there are little latches right inside. So if you want to keep your doors open so they don't swing, see right here, there's a latch that you can put, there's a little stopper here, and then the latch right here. This is what the keys look like. Isn't that cool? And I really like this. I love the ledge in here. Not that I'm going to start putting a whole bunch of stuff on it, but it makes it feel like more open somehow, because the glass and the metal structure doesn't come like right to the edge. There's a little bit more interest in here. So like I said, this interior from here to the other side is just at maybe 11 and a half feet, I think is the interior. And then the roof line is about, was it 12 and a half? I should have brushed up on all my measurements, but it's roughly 12. A couple of things that we did that were extra, some accessories. We have the pulley shades right here. It's kind of like a boat. You just pull your shade, and we have them on all the roofline windows. So you pull it to where you want it, and then you just wrap it around here. And then when you want to release, so it just stays like that, which is so perfect because of course we're going to want to use this all the time for filming. So that will be helpful. We won't have to drag a bunch of our shades out. So like I said, every single roof panel has one of these shades. And then if you look up at the roof, you can see what's called a spandrel. That's that little bracket with the decorative fleur-de-lis. That was an additional as well. And I think that's kind of a necessary. Like those little details, and then the cresting, the beautiful, you can see it on top of the doorway. The cresting with the fleur-de-lis and the finial on the end, that just makes it for me. When that moment, there were several moments along the construction process where I just couldn't believe my eyes. The first one was when I saw the first roof section constructed on the grass. I couldn't even believe that was about to go up on the structure. And then when I saw the cresting go up, it was just like, there it is. that's what kind of brings it all together. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm just bouncing all over the place because I'm so excited. Lots of details. So when you're done with your shade, you just unwrap it, and I don't want to like let it go really fast, but it just retracts itself there, like that. I don't even notice them when they're all rolled in, which is awesome. They just kind of blend into the framework. The windows down here, it's like a push bar, so easy to open and shut. And then up top, we have windows. What do they call them? Bayless. They open and close on their own based on temperature. And you can mess with the settings. So you can have it to where when it starts to get 50 degrees outside, they'll start to slowly open. And then you could set it to have them stay shut until it gets 70 degrees. It depends on what time of year. Usually in the spring, you want to be a little bit more careful in the fall. It just depends on the weather. Sometimes you want to allow a little bit more heat in, or to keep a little more heat in rather, and sometimes you want it to escape. So you can kind of mess with that however you want. One thing, there was only one change that we made along the way. We did, and you can see them right outside the window here, which we've cleaned no glass, and we won't clean any glass. I don't know if you can even see that the glass is a bit dirty, but I don't think it's really worth it until our floor is in. It's just so powdery. And I mean, you guys know what our soil is like. Our topsoil is just, it's kind of a mess. So I don't think it's really worth it to put in the effort to clean the glass with the floor like that. Anyway, you can see the stack of white boxes out there. Those are actually frames with bug screens in them. So let's go take a look. I'll show you. Those would have been installed in every single one of our windows that open. So all the ones along the roof line, which there are 3 on each side, 1 right above the center, and then 2 flanking it. And then there are 4 open windows down here. So we decided to not have these installed because they're kind of big. I mean, they actually would have come into the frame of the Hartley, and they just, I mean, you guys know what bug frames look like, or bug screens rather. They just kind of like marred the appearance a little bit to me. I mean, having that gray, and it kind of catches the light weird. When I saw the first one, they installed one and they just wanted to show me before they carried on with them, because they say a lot of people, they've had the same thing happen where people are like, oh, I want it to be the classic glass look. And I'm so glad they did stop, because I noticed from afar that they had put it in, and I thought to myself, like, oh, I think they must have that little film on the glass, and they'll install all the glass and then they'll peel the film off. And so to know that that's what my brain went to, that kind of told me. I called my mom. I'm like, Mom, I'm at a pivotal moment. They're going to either install all these, and I'm kind of like, I mean, you can change anything, but it's a really big pain for them if they have them installed and then have to take them out. So I need to decide. And she said, you know what your gut says. I mean, what was your initial gut reaction? And I told her, well, I felt like it made it look dirty, or like it looked like there was a film on the glass. She said, then don't do it. So I just needed that validation. Anyway, so we will keep these though. We'll put them up in the loft in the barn. If we decide at some point that, you know what, we really need them in there, we can always do that. So let's run to the side here. I'll show you where the water and the drain's gonna be. And of course, this wall, you can see on the back door, that was another optional thing. Your greenhouse comes with one door, of course. You can have additional doors put in. I mean, it could have had doors on every side, but then it would have kind of been like the gazebo. You know, the gazebo had 4 doors, and it made it extremely hard to figure out how to configure the inside. I don't know why. It was a block for me. So I'm so happy to have 2 sides that I can kind of set up, and they're not going to be in the way of a thoroughfare. But you can see where the brick stops. That's how tall the stem wall will actually appear. Once Chad comes in this next week, he's going to remove all the soil here and fill in to the base. So that will cover up, you know, I don't know over here, but maybe roughly right in here. We have a drain here that's shooting out this direction, and we're going to dig a big pit, not a big pit, a smallish pit, fill it with gravel, and that will be my sink drain out here. We're not going to plumb it into our septic is over there in Versailles, and I'm not going to be using this for anything major. I am going to have potable water. It will be water to where I can set up like a little cocktail area, have a sink in there, and have a counter and set it up really pretty, and that way I can, you know, rinse things out, wash hands, that kind of thing. But I'm not looking for like a dish disposal kind of situation where I can, you know, do some major work. So that's where the water is plumbed to inside. Well, it's not plumbed yet, but I have all the accesses there. And then the drain comes out this way. And then you can see the drain pipes. They just left them long so that we could decide what we wanted to do. They can either go straight down into the ground or we can have them go out toward the drain as well. So that's all stuff that we have to still decide and still do. Let's run in and I'll show you the sink from the inside. Look at this dirt, you guys. It's so powdery. So right here is the sink area, and then maybe a possible counter so I can bring flowers in here and I can see out and do my thing, or set up a cocktail area. I want to entertain in here, so we could put like food and stuff on this counter area. We also have electrical just roughed in. We will have there's 4 total. So there's 2 on this side, 1 on either side, and they will each have 4 plugins. And I think, you guys, I'm going to go up into our barn loft and get one of our Christmas trees down, just because I want to plug it out, just run an extension cord. I want to plug it in just briefly, and once it gets dark, so I can see what it looks like to have a Christmas tree out here, because I'd really like to have one. I need to order one or be prepared to buy one for the Hartley, and I want to know what size. But I think that will be gorgeous, you know, when you're kind of driving in to see a Christmas tree in here. Anyway, plugins on this side. There's one here, which will have 4 plugins. And then over here, they'll have 2 plugins, and there will be a light switch over here. I do have a chandelier that I bought on our last antiquing trip that we will hang right in the center, right here. And I want to have it on a dimmer, but we will also have it, you're going to have it controllable by our phones, right? Maybe? Yeah, he's nodding yes. So we decided to, instead of mar kind of this grand entry looking, I didn't really want a light switch here or here. I just wanted it tucked away. It will be maybe not one from our phones. Maybe it was a remote control. Motion sensing. Yeah, we're not sure yet. But if we have one that's remote control, we could just tuck the control, you know, somewhere right here, to where when you come in, you can just, you know, do whatever. And then what I'm thinking is, because I want to be able to do dinners and things, I'm gonna get a round table, maybe like a table that will seat 4, and kind of stage this area that way. And then I want this space, in terms of plants, to be all beautiful things. Citrus, geraniums, all those things that are potted in pretty pots. I'm not gonna use this as a huge production area. I don't intend, I mean, you never know. I'll probably try to squeeze stuff in here, but I don't intend to use this for like all my seed starting. We'll probably, ooh, kitties are having a fight out there. Anyway, I intend on doing all that seed starting stuff still in our other cold frame, which we are gonna retrofit and heat that, or our studio, so that I can, you know, do all of that stuff that's more messy and that's more utility over there, and keep this area just really like more of an extension of our home, is kind of what we're thinking. Now, in terms of future stuff in here, electricity and water, we already have that all conduit, right? So the only thing we're gonna have to do in here for HVAC, for heating and cooling, which in Eastern Oregon, where it gets 105, it's been 108 for us this summer so far, and it's been at or above 100 for the last 3 weeks. You can't really have a glass structure that you have no way to control temperature in. So we are going to have venting in here, and I don't know where we're gonna put our unit. It will be away a bit from the structure, but we'll have vents instead of our other option was a mini split. But to control a structure like this, the mini split is like 5.5 feet wide, and it comes up about this far, and it's like this big, and it's metal, and it would just cover the wall. And I feel like while we have it torn up, it would be a lot easier at this stage to put venting in and just do it really nice and not take up any precious space inside this greenhouse. So that is something we're planning on doing, and we don't intend to fully heat it and fully cool it like we do our home. We just want it in place so that we could take the edge off, because if it's 108 outside, even if we have the shades all pulled in here, it's gonna be sweltering in here. So we just wanna make sure that we can control that a bit if we need to. And then after HVAC, electrical, water is all done, then we can put our floor in. That will be the last thing. I think we are gonna go with, and that's why you see all this extra space. We needed to leave space for a sand layer and gravel. We're gonna do large charcoal slate tiling in here. And I haven't decided how far I want it to go out, like if I want it to stop at the doorways, which we still have, like here's the thresholds for the doors right here, sitting here. So once we have our floor installed, and it may or may not stop here, I might come out and do a little landing, or it may go, you know, because I need to be able to access the cold frames, and I don't know if I'm going to keep going with slate or do gravel out here. But once the floor is installed, then we can do the thresholds here, and the doors will have somewhere to stop, because at the moment, I mean, oh, I have them latched. At the moment, like nothing right here. So anyway, there's still quite a bit to do. I'm thinking we will have a functioning space by the time it gets cold. I'm hopeful that it will all be buttoned up by the end of fall. So a few months out yet. And then as far as landscaping goes around it, I kind of have a little bit, now that it's here, I'm such a visual person, but now that it's here, I can kind of see what I want to do in this space a bit. I want to do something very beautiful up here, but not super deep, because I want to keep the view from the house fairly open and let this shine and not cover it with landscaping right in the front. I also don't want to do anything super tall around it on that side or the back side, because I want to be able, that view to be very nice from all angles, because you know our driveway does go around that way. On this side though, I mean, you guys know, in order to get electrical and some stuff over here, we're going to have to tear up the brick patio and sidewalk, which we intended to do anyway. I'm thinking like some sort of formal knot garden over here, either here or back there, I'm not really sure. But I can kind of see it starting to form. We are going to be putting some kind of shade tree or trees on this side, the west side, to help climate control the greenhouse in the summer. We will do some major pruning so it's not heavy shade, some dappled light, but we need some kind of protection. But we'll make sure that whatever it is won't like hang over the greenhouse or touch it. It'll be far enough away to where this will still shine, but it will still provide some help for our temperatures. But I'm just over the moon. Can't even believe that it's sitting right here. I've been up several times, like in the night when Samantha gets up. It's kind of perfect opportunity to go over and peer out the window. There's no lighting around it yet, but I can see it because it kind of glows with that white color, and I can see it sitting here, and I'm just kind of in disbelief that it's here and that it actually happened. A dream realized, for sure. I can't even believe it. And I can't wait to show you guys the rest of the process as we go here, you know, because it will change the structure and the look of this entire area around here. And it's going to actually change the look of our entryway to our kitchen too, because we have to go down that sidewalk to trench stuff. So we have to take that sidewalk out. It's just, I mean, you guys know how it goes. Sometimes one thing leads to another. And in my case, it's kind of good because sometimes I need to be forced. Like the brick patio, I look at it and I'm like, I don't love it, but it's fine for now. And I would limp stuff along, even if it wasn't something I loved, for a while. Aaron, I think, would like tear it all down and then start rebuilding how he would want to do it. So sometimes I need that nudge. And so when you do something like this, like I don't care, rip the brick patio up. If it's to make something really beautiful with the Hartley, let's do it. So it will change dramatically, but I think we'll have at least the course of the winter to really think through the landscaping and really settle on some good design plans, I think, for that. So anyway, I just wanted to show you guys where we were at, and it's been so exciting for me that it's kind of been, it was hard because I was like, should I wait and show the whole thing all at once in a video, or should I share some pictures on Instagram and Facebook? Because you guys know I've been sharing, many of you know I've been sharing pictures, little updates here and there, or like the Hartley kind of blurry in the background, because it's bubbling out of me like I can't control it. I was so excited to share that I just wanted to hop out here, show you where it's at. I mean, for all intents and purposes, it looks like a Hartley right now, even though it's not done. It's gorgeous and I'm loving it. So I am today, I think, the little concrete table we have by our fridge that I put there, I think we're gonna move that out. I wanna put it right here with the flower arrangement. I don't care that the floor is still powder dirt. I want to put something in here that's gorgeous, and then the chandelier will be right above it. I kind of wanted that entryway kind of table look. So, oh my word. Do you hear the cats back there? So that's it, you guys. I just am so excited, over the moon with this whole thing, the whole process, the way it looks. And let me tell you, the experience with the Hartley Botanic crew this week was amazing. They came in, so they fly in. They're not from here. Everything below the frame is done by local outfits. And then the actual Hartley installation, which is the metal framing and the glass and all the accessories, those are all done by the Hartley crew. And they fly in from different areas of the United States. There were 4 of them. They arrived Monday morning at 8 o'clock. By like early afternoon, the entire frame was up. Like, in all the pieces, they were sitting in our driveway behind the fountain, and they were all wrapped, you know, really well, because this whole thing came over from the UK. And so, I mean, and everything arrived beautifully. But they had the whole thing just put together so fast. They finished a day early. They said it'd take about 4 days. It took 3. And so they were incredibly professional, really friendly. They were making friends with Russell and Cheddar. And so Russell and Cheddar were like laying in the grass watching the process. It was a really, really wonderful experience. So anyway, that's it for now, you guys. We will be showing you as we do more stuff around here, and then we'll probably do like a grand reveal once, you know, the lighting's in and I've got furniture in there and plants and things like that. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.